Welcome everybody. Natural selection and evolution is a process that is very slow, but it is real and has happened to basically every species of life forms in the past. So, do you believe that humans would continue to evolve biologically in the future? If your answer is yes, then what do you expect humans in the future to be like? So here are 7 estimations about what humans may evolve to in the future. An important point to mention here is that the future is going to be heavily influenced by cultures and technology and globalization. We can make educational guesses about that, but we still don't know exactly what will happen in the future. Example 1. The lack of race. First of all, a race is a social concept that refers to a population that shares a common ancestry and common biological features. As traveling internationally is becoming more and more available, more people are going to meet others with different ethnic or racial backgrounds. So interracial marriages are becoming more and more common. More so-called mixed-race people are being born nowadays. In the future, the difference between races may disappear altogether. So, does that mean the world will become more equal and friendly? The answer is no. Because without race, people will still find various other ways to divide and hate each other, just like religions and social identities. Example 2. Lose the ability to store fat. Humans and other mammals developed the ability to store fat is because that can help you survive longer without food. But in recent years, high-calorie foods are becoming widely available, and the average person in the world is more likely to die from obese or overweight-related diseases such as diabetes and heart attack than starving to death. That means people who became obese are less likely to survive, and the genes of not storing too much fat is more likely to be passed on to the next generation. So eventually, the average person of the future may have a very weak ability to store fat. But the negative thing about that is that you are more likely to die in an emergency situation, just like an earthquake or being lost on a deserted island. Example 3. Less pigment on the skin. As humans are spending more time indoors and less time outdoors. For example, the average person in a highly industrialized nation may spend over 90% of his or her lifetime indoors. That means humans are exposing to less solar radiation in their everyday lives. So in order to cope with this trend and prevent the deficiency of vitamin D, the average person in the future may evolve to have less pigment on the skin. The skin pigment known as melanin was originally used to block out excess amount of solar radiation. And having less melanin can allow us to observe more solar radiation. Example 4. The lack of body hair. The hair that grows on our limbs and our torso has no practical functions, because humans are getting more adapted to wearing clothes to keep ourselves warm, and people are spending more time indoors. We don't have to rely on hairs to keep ourselves warm. The lack of body hair creates less friction with the air when we are moving, and it can also allow us to get more adapted to a watery environment. Also, the sweat will evaporate more quickly, making it a lot more effective at cooling us down. Also, the lack of hair can allow us to be less prone to skin-based parasites like fleas. Example 5. A slower growth and aging rate. As soon as the average person is getting more used to a lifestyle of starting out late and ending late, which means the average life expectancy at birth is increasing due to better health care and hygiene conditions. People are starting to get married and having children at an older age, so in order to cope with this trend, the individuals may grow and develop at a slower rate, and also they will age at a slower rate when they become old. This condition is not going to extend for several centuries, But our life cycle may slow down for several years or even up to 10 years in the future. A slower life cycle can also slow down the growth of the population and further cope with the problem of overpopulation. Example 6. Larger and more complex eyes. Humans rely a lot on eyesight. In fact, sight is the most commonly used one out of all these different senses. As soon as humans are getting more used to information technology like words, computers, and TV screens, and also traveling longer distances in short periods of time, some estimate that our eyes would become larger and more complex. For example, we may develop the ability to see more different shades of color and see clearly in a darker environment. Example 7. More resistant teeth. As soon as food containing more amount of sugar and carbohydrates are becoming more available, our teeth may become more adapted to it, becoming more resistant to bacteria and acids. Some theorize that a type of beak resembling that of birds may be developed on humans, because it's more durable and resistant than having individual teeth. What we have mentioned above are only a handful of educated guesses. There are still many other examples out there. Some are really outlandish. For example, some believe that humans will develop the ability to alter their skin color just like a chameleon. And remember this, the speculations that we talked about can either turn out to be real or not real, because we don't know what exactly will happen in the future. Evolution is usually a process that takes millions of years to happen. But due to the advancements in technology and globalization, similar adaptations can happen within thousands or even hundreds of years, if humans don't go extinct in the near future. I've also got some bonus fact for you. Can you imagine what would the future of humanity be like if a large disaster or disease wiped out the majority of the world's population, leaving a small minority of survivors? What would those survivors be like? So once again, stay curious. And thank you for watching. If you enjoy our video, then please feel free to like and share it.